is time to finally say goodbye to Secret Village. Make sure you guys smash the like, crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Holy crap. They have finally taken Outback and blown up Secret Village of the Spellcasters. Now, for those of you that have not been smashing the living crap out of that subscribe button, boy, oh boy, you really should, because this is a major one. So for those of you that have not been paying too much attention to things out here, the whole Secret Village thing was because pendulums are just able to tutor this thing out like crazy. All right, imagine a world where you're playing a 1-out-of-1 format. You know, you've not been able to side deck to kind of counteract this, and then your opponent just searches for the Secret Village. Actually, before I sat down to film this, one of my friends was cheering because they were super excited that this is finally going away, because evidently up to this point, this card was just a massive problem. I think they lost 4 games in a row to Secret Village today. That is a problem in and of itself. So I think that, you know, contrary to what people might be seeing or thinking here, if you are truly losing to this that much, that is something that needs to be taken care of for the betterment of the game. Now, Summon Limit. Now, this I understand as well. You know, this thing's already banned in the TCG. You know, Master Duel is now banning it. It's still limited to 1 in the OCG. Summon Limit has turned into one of those cards that has been a very oppressive Floodgate problem. And it has very much shown that it is an issue across the board. You do not need to have a card existing in the game right now that says your opponent, after 2 summons, flip that shit off. No more. You're not playing the game anymore. And that creates issues. You cannot have that happening. So I think that having 2 very strong floodgates going to 0 here is just good developments for Master Duel. The fact that, you know, this format is designed as a 1-out-of-1, this just needs to be happening here. AntiSpell Fragrance. Moving to 1. Now, what amazes me most about this is I've never really have understood why the OCG just does not abuse this card on the same level that the TCG does. And it always amazes me because it's still at 3 there for whatever reason. But, you know, you got people out here that are just tossing this on into main decks out here, which is just ruining the player experience. You cannot have that happening. All right, and once again, this is one of those cases that you've got a card that's designed to be a side deck card, or very, very influential of its current modern era, you know, tools as a side deck card. But in a format with no side deck, you have cards like AntiSpell Fragrance out here that is just reaching to the sky and being a problem. So they're putting it to 1. I think that's fine. It unfortunately turns into the situation of, oh, wow, you actually drew it. You drew the 1 of. Yeah, that's a thing. So that's going to 1 finally. Maxi is going to 2. You know, I know a lot of people are like, can we just ban this card? Can we just get it out of here? I understand where you're coming from, Duelist. I think that Maxi should be gone out of Master Duel, and, you know, you guys can just do with the deal with the Mulcharmy experience. I think that's kind of what everybody wants to see right now. Maxi, you know, I actually, once again, just had another friend that was playing Master Duel before I started filming this, and they just Maxied and Fool Wasped their opponent, and their opponent auto-scooped. Like, I understand, you know, resolving, you know, these 2 cards on your opponent is so absurd. And the fact that you have allowed this to happen. So maybe we'll see this go to 1 in the future. I do have a kind of a feeling out here that it feels like Konami's got this agenda where they want to start pushing Maxi out of here just to get it out of the game because, you know, the card has been that much of an issue. And I think that would be fine, actually. Card has stuck around for progressively too long. Singan Kimman to 2. All right, so for those of you that are very happy about this, I clap for you. Tenpai is still a very problematic deck. The deck still has as much explosive ability as it ever truly didn't need to have. This is very much a consistency hit. I think eventually you will see Singan Kimman go to 1 on here. You gotta remember, you're so far away from seeing the Dragon Maid support on this game. Maybe when we get closer to that in 3-4 months, well, actually, I don't even know if it'd be 3-4 months. It could be, you know, later quadrant 3 to 4 this year before we actually get to that point. So that's a pretty big thing to be thinking about here, is maybe we might see some return of this back at a later date to kind of boost up Dragon Maids, but no, this needed to actually happen. This card, once again, too good. All right, especially 1 out of 1 format. All right, so Nightmare Throne finally budging to 2 on here. This is okay. I feel like this is a hit to maximize and line up with the OCG, because, I don't know, they're still really worried about Yubel on this format. I understand that Yubel looks like it could be one of those decks that you play in a 1 out of 1 format, and you're just like, I can't do anything about this. Damage reflection, being forced to attack. I get that is, that's not very, very Yu-Gi-Oh! Friendly right now. But you do got to remember, it looks like that there is a little bit of a bounce back on this. So with this going to 2, I still can't believe Yubel is still a problem with Master Duel right now, or at least, you know, that they're making this change. But hey, you know what? If you're a Yubel player, I guess be happy. You know, card could go to 1, then your entire deck is actually dead. This is absolutely amazing. Morphing Jar is going to 3. I don't know about you guys, but I want to cook up the nastiest empty jar deck in the entire room out here, because they have moved both Cyber Jar and both of the jars that should not move are moving to crazy numbers. And I cannot wait for people to just be massively perplexed by what in the world Empty Jar is. All right, I feel like Master Duel is letting this happen because they're like, oh, nobody is going to be playing, you know, nobody's Empty Jar. I guarantee you some of those people in that R&D room have forgotten what Empty Jar is. All right, and they're going to learn. I cannot wait to hear the horror stories of duelists out here that are getting scraped off of the floor by Morphing Jar just going, ooh, 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 sorry, where'd your hand go, duelist? Like, sorry. This is a combination. What is this? A Luber and branded opening finally moving? Does this mean that you can finally play TCG branded on here? Because it's kind of what it feels like now. I don't know, man. I don't think branded is that broken of a deck, honestly. I think you could even move Branded Fusion to 2, but, you know, everybody was so scared of, you know, all the craziness. You know, you had the Jogan loops. You know, you could still do Raw's Disciple shit, I guess, but, like, it's not even really worth it at this point to be dedicating those slots to that. So, I guess welcome back, guys. It took long enough. Sinir moving. That's actually kind of nice. You actually have a Bysteel that you can start bumping around with and start taking care of things from your opponent. So, I actually think that this is by far probably one of the better hits on here, considering, you know, Magna Hut and Druis, where it might not be that accessible. Saranir at least is going to be the next name for you to do things with. Hey, man, I've recently learned that, you know, the Bysteels are one of the cornerstones of the TCG. They do allow for some of the stupidest interactions here. You know, even if you have a Bysteel at home here that just mills a Bysteel, like, sure, I'll take that. And then Celestial going to 3, excuse me. I don't know why this took so long out here for this to happen, but about time, actually. I guess, like, you know, they still have Verte Anaconda legal, so I guess the whole reasoning with this is, you know, we got to do things. I mean, this list wasn't as groundbreaking as, you know, OMG, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is back, you know, no. But they went after the floodgates here like they needed to be doing. You know, let's call it what it is. 1 out of 1 format, you know that these cards need to not exist. They're very toxic. AntiSpell Fragrance, you could make the argument that this card should probably be, you know, banned on Master Duel, just because, you know, for the Labyrinth experience, it's a little bit crazy. This is genuinely, by far, I think, one of the best things that's happening on this list. The fact that we are finally seeing this card move is a good sign for Master Duel. I think that this is, yeah, floodgates are good, but this is by far the most telling sign on this list. And it gives a lot of hope to a lot of people that, you know, at least, I guess if your opponent sees it, you know, it's a little bit of a blowout card, sure, but they're finally starting to make good decisions out here. And I'm happy about that. I'm happy to see that they are doing the right things with this. So, well, we'll see where this goes, but it's an improvement. So please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.